Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and I've done several videos of this, but I've got somebody that's brand new to lasering engraving, and they need help putting this image into an ornament. And it is really small, which is good, because it's 1 inch by 1 inch, but if we take a yellow, or we take a rectangle and make it yellow, go to Object, Order, Back a Page, you can see it is a clip art. So we're going to click on the clip art. We're not going to do anything because it's black and white already. We don't have to, we could probably resample it, but it's already 300 because it's so small. So we're going to go to Trace Bitmap, Outline Trace, Clip Art. Yours is going to be probably under Bitmap in the same way. You can see it's already traced it if it's going to have some white background still behind it. So we can just move this out of the way. It's got a little bit of trash I'm going to call up top, and we're going to clean that up. But then you click on your item and you go to Object and you go Group and Ungroup, and maybe we can just grab all the black and just drag it over, and you see it worked. It left some little bits and pieces, but it's still not perfect. This is going to work, but I would still clean it up. And if you have X7 or above, because this is so little, let's make it 0.125. And even, well, at this time, we can actually make it quite a bit bigger, because he's going to put it into an ornament. He wants a circle around it. So we could use the smoothing tool and just kind of smooth that out just a little bit. I think everything else looks good. I don't quite understand this white, but it's hollow, so it'll work. Everything else looks pretty good. Let's look down here. Yeah, there's a little bit of bad line. So let's take the shape tool now and just delete that node. Maybe delete that node. Maybe even delete that node. We're going to be cutting this out, and that's really small crack. So let's just take that node and just move it over. We can actually take this handle and move it over. We want some spaces between the wood. I think we're good to go. So now we're going to take the object and left click, right click, and make sure it's a hairline. So double click on your pen tool and hit hairline. So now we got an object. And let's say we're going to make this thing 4 inches. So with the ratio locked, we're going to type in 4 inches. Now I'm going to hit P, put it in the center of the page. I can get rid of all this other garbage. And I am going to take an ellipse tool, and I'm going to hit P, put it in the center of the page. That is almost perfect. We could actually make it a little bit bigger by holding down the Shift key and then hitting P again. We just want part of the broom and part of the hat touching for strength. So let's lower it a little bit by holding down the Shift key, hit P again. We can make the hat work, and there's also a bad node there. So let's just take away that node. Let's take these two nodes and just bring them up outside the hat or outside the circle. We're going to lose part of the broom unless we do a couple of little neat tricks, which I think I'll do. So now what you need to do is take another ellipse, Control D, holding down the Shift key, and then just make it whatever size you want. So if the first one is 4.1, this is 4.8, so that's almost too thick for an ornament. We're getting up into the 5-inch range. But that doesn't really matter, because you can always reduce the whole thing later and go, well, we're going to make it just 4 inches. So now the whole thing is 4 inches. Of course, he'd want to put a hole in it or whatever. And there's several ways to do this. I always find, let's set my nudge factor on 5 inches, and let's nudge this outer circle out of the way. And let's take this object and let's weld it and see what doesn't happen. That doesn't work. So we're either going to use back minus front or front minus back. That didn't work, so we're going to use the opposite one, which is front minus back. And what that did, that trimmed out the parts that were hanging over. So this will be a good sturdy ornament. Let's put the nudging the circle back over. We could actually still make that a little bit thinner, holding down the shift key. And then take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in, and that's going to be your ornament. It's going to be good and strong because you've got 2 points or at least on the bottom and one up top. Now I've done several videos on this and how you could make it a little bit better, but in this case, I don't think we need to. What I would do is put a hanger on this and take a control button and make a perfect circle and hit P, put it in the center of the page. Start moving it upward and then hold down the control key. Put it about in the middle. And then trim away what you know you do not need. We do not need that line. We do not need that line. And we do not need that line. So now we got a holder. We're going to put another circle. You know, let's go 0.1 and see what that looks like. Enough to get a hanger through it. Now, it's centering it, but I would still start moving, hold down the control button and put it kind of like right there. Now at this time, you need to take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in, and what that does, that seals up those parts. Left click, right click, still change it, and so it'll cut on your laser. And you're good to go. And what I mean is, see this circle and this bar not connected? Well, this is all connected and ready to cut. Anyway, I hope that helped them a little bit. Thank you for watching.